Thank you so much. That was genius. Okay, we are not going to do our activity in Job. I'm sorry. But I almost kind of wondered if we wouldn't because your girls aren't here, actually. So isn't that funny? So we're going to do, I hope, I think, a fun activity. Were you thinking the same thing? Yeah, I was asking the Lord, like, are we going to do that or are we going to wait? Yeah. So turning point in the next 2 weeks on Job, I believe that's where we're heading. Because I'll just put this one piece up here. Elihu is speaking to Job, and some of you have heard this piece, which is that basically Job has said, I am experiencing a whole bunch of yuck, and I now know that I need to see God face to face. And here's what I'll tell you. Every mountain in your life is about getting to that place. Every mountain in your life is about getting to the place where you can see God face to face regarding that topic, regarding that issue. Every single challenge in your life is about getting to the place where you demand to see God and talk to Him face to face about it. That's good news, right? Because now that we know that, we can get there faster. We can stop messing around.
Is that the relating part of having a relationship?
It is the relating. Oh my goodness, yes.
Just wondered.
You're a genius. It is. It's the relating. It's part of the relationship. It's having that intimacy, that conversation of what are you doing? What's really happening here? Again, who do you want to be for me? Those real conversations. So every mountain in our life is about getting to the place where we're face to face. But Elihu jumps in after friends have talked. So we often hear the counsel of friends, right? That's usually, sometimes helpful, sometimes not. Elihu jumps in and says, hey, listen, God is too big and great. You're pretty much nothing. Why don't you let me be your spokesman before God, and we will figure out this justice on our own. And that's what that narrative in our voice says. That's what that narrative, it takes us off of the main issue, which is to have a face-to-face with God regarding every single subject in our lives. And moves us into a place of engaging and dealing with all of this negative behavior, which is absolutely irrelevant. And getting caught in the cycle of trying to fix it, correct it, resolve it, rather than going, this isn't the actual issue. Like, you don't try to just keep working on a scab. You let the skin heal itself. That's what all these coping mechanisms are. They're just scabs on wounds that just need to be healed from the inside up. And once we stop being ashamed, like how many times have you blurted out stuff inappropriately to somebody that you wished you hadn't said because you were in this spot here, right? And it has probably harmed relationships, and it's probably you've later thought, oh my gosh, why did I do that? That's this. That's the pressure of being in the middle of a breakthrough and being pushed back into an old coping mechanism, which is wanting someone else to affirm you, someone else to kind of help you with the victim mindset and support you in that. That's okay. So stop dealing with this stuff and step into the place of the better conversation. And that's letting go of the Elihu voice in your life that basically puts you between a rock and a hard place where there's no way out. Where he goes, you shouldn't have a face-to-face with God. You should figure this out on your own. Aren't you smart enough? Aren't you intelligent enough? Haven't you learned enough from the negatives that have gone on and on? You should know better by now, right? Haven't you heard? And that's this voice. This voice that basically creates all of the scenarios in your head that keep you from the face-to-face conversation with God, where God is, where you are aware of His presence in every single moment of every day. And so I'll just end with this because it's time for the Baileys to come up. Which is, I believe that whether or not anyone knows God or not, I believe that He's in the spaces between the spaces. So if you've ever watched those shows, I'll pull them and I'll put a link up for you guys, and I'll maybe mention them next week. They're the most, what's the guy, I'm blanking on his name. I'm sorry, this is like charades without any clues whatsoever. Black guy, but he wasn't in The Matrix. It's the other awesome black guy that was in Robin Hood. Anybody? No, but he wasn't. Was he in Robin Hood? I don't know. But that was. Wait, what?
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
Yes. Thank you. See? That's the way crazy works, right there. It's just genius and a little bit crazy. Morgan Freeman hosts a science show that is so fantastic. Have you seen this? It's phenomenal. And the show that he hosts talks about how there's energy inside of atoms. You know, we used to think that the atom, right, was the smallest substance. We now know it's not. There's subatomic particles, there's subatomic particles, and then there's quarks, which we don't even understand what quarks are. And inside of the spaces, there is more space than there is matter. Like huge amounts of space inside of matter, and there's more space than there is matter in stuff that's hard, like this. There's more space inside of this than there is matter. There's more space. And inside all of that space is this thing they call dark matter, which is energy. And they believe it's the energy that holds everything into being. And they believe it's the energy that made everything come into being. It's, right? It's so fun. I know, right? And
did you bring up dark energy? Are we talking the Flash now?
Well,
is this what we're talking about? Because I'm confused.
Maybe. So, anywho, my point is this, that I believe that within every single cell of every single everything is the presence of God. That is the very energy. And so there is no loss or lack of communication. We're not looking to get to a revelation. We are literally just inside of a mountain, you know, and the Lord's inviting us to take a space, and He's going, I am literally living and breathing every single moment with you inside every single cell, and I'll just make you more aware of it and more aware of it and more aware of it. And as you wake up and rise up in the awareness, we will be able to let go of these behaviors that have had you have to cope with the negativity of these mountains being bigger than you, and we will acclimate you so that you can run. I love the song you did today, so that you can run and not grow weary. Hi guys, welcome. What? Somebody won something amazing. There's like a medal happening. I don't know if that was here or somewhere else, but that looks pretty amazing. So kids are coming in.
Yeah.
Where literally, like, we run and not grow weary, where we can move from base camp to base camp to base camp to base camp and find the very life within us and the joy and the partnership with God. So we will, with the girls, hopefully next week, we'll take this next activity, and we're going to do a turning point and then a wrap up in Job in just the next couple of weeks. And where it's going to turn the conversation of what's really happening here and really the manifesto that's against humanity. And then Job is going to have his face-to-face with God. And this is where I feel like so many theologians haven't really quite got it right, is what that face-to-face with God was really all about. And I believe that God was revealing secrets of the ages to Job that very few scholars, but now because of the internet, they're starting to get connected, have started to now show the research of kind of the mystery within the mystery of what's happened in Job. So it's going to be an exciting part of our next little shift. So this week, here's what I'd like you to do. With the Holy Spirit, I want you to have the conversation of what are the mountains that God's inviting me to take. Because we need to stand for each other. So this is your assignment, write it down. What are the mountains God's inviting me to take? And you can't have 20, but you can put 20 down, but we'll pray with each other and for each other on a couple of them. And then I want the Holy Spirit to start having a conversation.
And you don't have to have a
see,
mountain either. Maybe you're in a valley right now.
Maybe you're in a valley. Maybe you're more of a molehill person.
Maybe it's this green pastures thing.
Possibly.
You're just in the midst.
Yeah, it might be.
All right.
And then I want the Holy Spirit to help you see what are the coping mechanisms that are showing you that you're ready for breakthrough. So instead of them being condemnations of here's how bad I am and here's how I'm not making progress, it's like, oh, here's the coping mechanisms that reveal I'm in the middle of breakthrough. And what is it that God is releasing within me that shows that I'm breathing freely here? Okay? So bring those next week, because we want to pray over them with each other and share. So please come ready to share, because it's going to be fun and awesome, and I'm excited. Hooray! Okay, Baileys are up to help us.
Actually,